Welcome back. In this video, we're going to create winning and losing conditions so we can finish this game. We're going to use a combination of if, and else statements. We're going to print the text game over to the screen in the event of a collision, or you win to the screen if we cross the finish line. So I'm going to have you do this as a challenge. If the Boolean collision is true, print game over using the drawText function. Take a look at the pop-up that Visual Studio Code shows you as soon as you hit that opening parentheses for the function call, and use that to remind you what arguments are needed for this function. If collision is not true, use an else if to check to see if Scarfy has crossed the finish line. If so, use drawText to print you win to the screen. If neither of those are true, draw Scarfy and the nebulae. Pause the video and do this now. So here we are in our program, and we're already checking to see if collision is true. If so, we're going to lose the game. We're going to print game over to the screen using drawText. Now, using the pop-up, we see that the first argument is the text, so we're going to use game over. The next argument is our X position on the screen. I'm simply going to put this a quarter of the way across the screen using window dimensions of 0, that's the window width, divided by 4. And I'd like to put this roughly halfway down the screen by using window dimensions of 1, that's the height, divided by 2. Next, we need a font size. I'm going to use 40. And finally, we want a color. I'm going to use red. That's okay if you use different values for drawText. Now we need an else if. So in between our if and our else, I'm going to place an else if statement followed by a condition and a body. And for the condition, we're going to check to see if Scarfy's X position has crossed the finish line. So we're going to say if Scarfy data.pause.x is greater than or equal to finish line. If that's the case, we've won the game, so I'm going to place a comment that says, win the game. And we're going to simply draw text, so I'm going to copy this call to draw text, and instead of game over, I'm going to put you win. Now I'm going to scroll up to our size of nebulae variable, and instead of 10, I'm just going to change it to 3 so we only have 3 nebulae to jump over. Now let's test this out. Run and start debugging. Now first I'll test the lose condition. So there we have game over because I allowed a nebula to collide with Scarfy. Now let's test the win condition. So run and start debugging. Here's the first nebula, there's the second, and there's the third, and you win is printed to the screen. So all is working perfectly. So in summary, we've created a win-lose condition. We win if we cross the finish line, and we lose if we hit a nebula. We print game over or you win depending on whether we've lost or won. Congratulations! This concludes this section of the course. You've now created the Dapper Dasher game, and you've learned a ton of skills along the way. Excellent job! I can't wait to see you in the next section.